Release agreements are a crucial part of many legal and business transactions. But what exactly are they, and who are the parties involved? Let's break down the concept of Releasor versus Releasee and explore the intricacies of release agreements. At its core, a release agreement is a legal document where one party agrees not to pursue legal action against another in exchange for compensation. The two main parties in this agreement are the releaser and the releasee. The releaser is the party who agrees to give up their right to pursue a legal claim. The releasee, on the other hand, is the party being released from potential legal liability, often in exchange for providing some form of compensation. Now, let's look at the key elements that make up a release of liability agreement. These agreements typically include the identities of both the releaser and releasee, the effective date of the agreement, and a detailed description of the activity or event covered. They also specify the consideration or compensation being offered, the governing jurisdiction, and often include clauses addressing past or potential injuries, modifications to the agreement, and the right to legal representation. Release agreements come in various forms, each tailored to specific situations. General release agreements are broad and cover all potential claims. Mutual releases involve both parties releasing each other from liability. There are also activity-specific releases, often used for sporting events or recreational activities, and employment termination releases, which protect employers from lawsuits by former employees. These agreements offer several benefits, primarily legal protection and cost management for businesses and individuals. They can effectively mitigate risks by clearly outlining the assumption of risk by the releaser. However, it's important to note their limitations. Release agreements typically cannot waive liability for gross negligence or intentional misconduct, and ambiguous or overly broad agreements may be challenged in court. For a release agreement to be legally enforceable, it must meet certain criteria. Both parties must voluntarily consent to the agreement without coercion. The language used must be clear and understandable. There must be adequate consideration or compensation for the releaser. The agreement must comply with relevant state laws, and it must be properly signed by all parties involved. In today's digital age, electronic release agreements are becoming increasingly common. These offer convenience and efficiency, but must still meet legal standards, including compliance with electronic signature laws. Understanding the concept of releaser versus releasee and the intricacies of release agreements is crucial in many legal and business contexts. Whether you're a business owner, an event organizer, or an individual participating in a potentially risky activity, knowing how these agreements work can help protect your interests and ensure you're making informed decisions.